Welcome, Lisa White. I'm so glad you're here, and we're going to talk about you and your amazing book.
Thanks for having me.
So you and I have known each other for a while. In fact, it's been how long since you published your book?
I published in 2020, started writing it in 2019.
That's right. Okay. So you were one of the first authors that went through our Birth Your Book program here at Mountain Wisdom Press. Amazing. So let's talk about your book. So who you are and your book, please.
Yeah, my name's Lisa White. I'm based here in Colorado, and I stepped into working as a fertility coach in about 2018. And I was a new mom and had personally gone through the emotional ride of IVF. And it was just a long journey to become a mother. And we got connected. I think I had an infant. I think she was pretty young at the time. And I knew that I wanted to, well, I guess I never really knew 100%, but I thought one day I would love to write a book. And being a lifelong journaler, like that was a part of who I was. I mean, I've always been into writing, but I never really thought, wow, what we went through could really become a book and support a lot of other women. So when you and I connected at an event and I got to know you and you shared what you were creating, and it was like a really unique opportunity for me to lean into this and to courageously, step into this 9-week journey with you to birth my book. So I'm really grateful. And this is, hold on, baby. I'm really so proud of it. I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, I love it. And I love that it's a subject matter dear to my own heart, because as you know, I came from the fertility world as well. And my book was written about my own, journey around fertility and the work I had done with women in my fertility practice. So it was just such a pleasure to, really support you and your story, because your story is really geared towards a specific reader. And I was just really curious, can you tell us a little bit about who that ideal reader is for your book?
Yeah, this was a wonderful exercise you helped guide me through in the book writing process, speaking to one person and speaking to that woman. And I really was to that person, I was almost like putting myself back in the shoes of what it was like to navigate through that emotional ride. And for anyone journeying on this path, striving to become a mom, faced with fertility challenges, like there's so many parts of this that are really overwhelming and kind of feeling out of your control in a way. There's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of setbacks, there's uncertainty, and just a lot of highs and lows. So these women are just really at a place where they're frustrated, first of all, that they have to go through this process. It's not something many choose to go through. So, my reader, oftentimes they've gone through everything big in their life, where they've gone for their dreams, right? Pursued their career, pursued maybe finding their ideal partner, their dream house, their dream job. And this is one thing you can't really make happen when you're going on your path to motherhood. And I really could relate to that being, I postponed marriage and postponed having children. And then when I was ready in my later 30s, it became a challenge, and we started the fertility testing route. So these women are really ambitious women who really want this badly, to become a mom. And then IVF just throws a big curveball at you, where you are trying to navigate through this ride, and not only physically with all of the shots and the hormones, but it's really the emotional pain that is the hardest to deal with. So I understood that very well, and kept that woman in my mind as I was writing this book. Like, I understand the pain and, the tears. I've cried the same tears. I know what it feels like to have your heart just feeling like it's shattered on the floor, and heartbreak and all the different things that women go through on this path. It's just so emotionally draining. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to write to that specific woman to let them know, yes, I feel you. I've been there. I see you. And you're going to be okay, and you're going to get through this, and I'm going to help guide you in staying empowered on this path.
That's what I love about your book, Lisa, because it is such an empowering guide, and it's so much about mindset and the way you look at your life story, your challenge in front of you. And so I just want to ask you to speak on that a little bit about the mindset. And will you tell us again your subtitle, the book's subtitle? I think that's important.
Hold on, baby. a soulful guide to writing the ups and downs of infertility and IVF.
Right.
And I really wanted it to be a soulful guide. I understood the importance of this is more than just a physical medical process. It's so much more. It's deeper than that. It's really tapping into the deepest parts of us. I always say, like, the ride through IVF, it tests you, it challenges you, and it transforms you. And it really deepened in my own discovery of like who I am and what I'm capable of. And that if I can get through this, I can get through pretty much anything, It like really strengthened my belief in I play a big role in this process. I was going to be an active participant on this path, and I want to show people what's possible, really living in possibility instead of being a victim and living in the struggle. So the soulful part of it is really, something that, and you don't have to be spiritual. It's really just tapping into your own connection to, if it's your highest self or God or spirit, source, the universe. I really speak to co-creating along this path, to not going about it alone, to deepening within your own capabilities and knowing that you can control more than you realize as far as like taking ownership of your wellness, your mindset, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, spiritual well-being. And I have a background as an occupational therapist, so I really understood the integration of all of these factors playing at at play when you're going through IVF. So it's really just helping individuals see that this is so much bigger than what it appears to be, that they can feel guided from not only within, but looking to whatever they believe, and know that they're being guided along this process.
That's so beautiful. And I know you said you were working as an occupational therapist, and I think at the time you were writing your book, you were really, kind of switching gears with the work and who you were focused on. And so I just wanted to ask you about that. Like, since you've written and published your book, I know that your business has really changed and grown. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I still have a little bit of a part of my profession that I still work in occupational therapy with kids, but I really, after stepping into this work as a fertility coach, and the book really did help launch a new direction for me in wanting to step into this. It's so wonderful. This book has opened up so many doors for me for podcast opportunities and guest speaker roles and summits and collaborations and giveaways. And it's amazing, like, just to see this book reach worldwide. I mean, it's incredible. And it hit #1 the day I released it on Amazon in 2020 on Mother's Day. As you remember, I released it on Mother's Day, which was a beautiful blessing. We didn't really plan on that. And it's incredible. I practice what I preach, and I put my heart out into the world, and I kind of set it free. Like, this book is going to touch the women who it's meant to touch. And I just let it go. And the messages that I get from women around the world and how this book resonates with them and touches them, it's like, it's everything I dreamed of. I mean, it's incredible.
That is incredible. And like, to use your own personal struggle and journey and story to inspire others through theirs, like, what a gift, Lisa. So that's so beautiful. And you mentioned that you might be launching a group soon, or tell us how you're working with clients now. How does that look? Are you following the protocol that you kind of shared in the book? Is that part of the coaching?
Yeah. So the method that I write about in the book, the IVF Soul Aligned Method, I have created a 9-week experience guiding women in an intimate setting through those principles. And I have 7 core modules that I guide women through. And it's really helping you get clarity, laying the foundation, like clearing the space, writing the narrative. What are the stories that we're telling ourselves along this path? What are the beliefs? Really calling in the miracles. I talk a lot about a miracle mindset and stepping into the woman to navigate this path and leaning into the journey, trusting the unfolding. So yes, it's a lot of those themes throughout the program, and all the work I've been doing has been one-on-one primarily. So virtually, I have women all over. Like, I think my furthest client I have is in Singapore, and it's just incredible. Like, the women that I get to reach through the virtual support. And then here in Colorado, I've been doing some in-person support groups as well, holding space, and yeah, just enjoying this ride and this beautiful journey. So the 9-week program will be starting June 7th for 9 weeks. Coming up.
That's so great. And I've seen some of your interviews on social media with a doctor, an IVF doctor that you're partnered with. Is that an ongoing partnership that's come out of the work you've done in the book?
Yes, he was my fertility doctor, and I reached out to him in the process of writing my book, and he wrote the foreword to my book, and I shared, he was so excited to be part of it. And when COVID hit too, I asked him, I said, would you be interested in, doing some interviews together and collaborating? And we started doing together in person, and then COVID hit. So then we moved to virtual, but a couple times a month we meet virtually, and it's just really casual, easygoing conversation. We call them clinical conversations, and it's become a really great opportunity to share the science side of things that I do not specialize in. I let the doctor, he's the specialist with the reproductive endocrinology, he handles the science and the data, and then I bring in more of that soulful spiritual side. So it's a really cool blend that we highlight and offer individuals.
Yeah, I love that. It's so balanced and good to have both sides, especially on this journey for women. So what are your favorite things to do outside of work? I know you have a daughter, and she's growing up fast, Lisa.
I know. When I wrote the book and I released it, she was 2.5. And then, now she'll be 5 in the fall, starting kindergarten. So it's so cute. I mean, she knows all about the book. The other day, I caught her reading it outside. She knows the title, and it's so sweet. I mean, hearing her little voice, and I can't wait for one day for her to really, read it and understand more about it. And it's her story, really. It's her story, but it's our story. It's how she came to be, and calling her into existence, if you will. It's just really magical. But outside of fertility, gosh, I'm big into the outdoors. I'm a Colorado native. So we're so lucky to have beautiful places to explore and adventure and travel. I still write. I'm actually working on a children's book, and I write, and photography. I'm kind of old fashioned that way. I still like to write people letters.
I love that. Yeah. So do you have any tips for writing, especially as a busy mom?
Tips for writing? Is for someone wanting to write a book,
or just writing in general, journaling, writing, journaling, inspiring author.
Oh, you're so sweet. I mean, journaling is it's been a gift throughout my life. And I started writing when I was 10 years old. So it's not for everybody. I think if it speaks to you, it's a wonderful outlet. It's a wonderful way to release heavy emotions. And I think all of us can say we've been feeling some pretty intense emotions lately. It's helped me get through really difficult things. And that if you're called to share a message, just start getting your thoughts out on paper, and maybe it could turn into a book. I mean, like mine did, it's pretty fun.
Thank you, Lisa. So how can listeners find you, or if someone knows somebody who's going through a fertility struggle or journey, how can they find you and get in touch and learn more?
Oh, thank you. My website is ivfmanifestingamiracle.com. And that's also the same on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, have a YouTube channel, same Lisa White, IVF Manifesting a Miracle. And then my book is Hold On Baby on Amazon. So you can order it there, and
all online book retailers.
Yes. Target, right? Barnes and Noble, all of the sites. I'm really grateful it's out there.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, it's wonderful to talk to you and just to see how much you've grown since writing your book. And it's been such an honor to walk with you on the journey of birthing your book into the world and seeing what you're doing with all these women across the globe. It's such a gift. So thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us.
I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you to you and Nathan.
Thank you. Okay.